killing, millions and millions of people. Me and my team, along with Sam Watson and his team, we're going to stand together and fight this disease.
I come this way before, travel with open door. Circumstances navigate the path, and life happened oh so fast. No, they got no me. Sometimes you see, I know we couldn't make it. Even when I'm off beat, I still land on my feet, and nothing can shake me, cause I know life took a hold of me. I never. This is where I am destined to be. I'm not ready to give up. No. I believe in the miracle of life.
Life's a play with no rehearsal.
Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games to play, can't take it personal.
Cause the devil is a lie, hey. Telling you the truth, man. It's all in what you're doing. Some things you gotta do, hey. Barbershop conversations, man. What up, Young Merv, the Cup Man, Donald Simpson? You had to be on first. What up, Jhene, DB, Eric and STL? What it do, big homie TB? We in this motherfucker. B&B Boxing, Reggie Owens. What it do, man? We got a great show tonight. If you want to know anything about music, the A, B, C, D, all the way to Z, tonight is the night, man. We got Trumpet great Fernando Pullum in the building, man, who's a great friend of mine. We actually met at a film festival maybe 6-7 years ago. His show, we were actually competing against one another, and we end up being great friends, man. And now I'm raising the property value in his neighborhood, man. I appreciate you, man. And we got rapper West Coast legend Yo-Yo coming in, man. Man, we just got a great show, man. We got Brian Warfield coming in, man, and his discography is longer than my rap sheet, man. So we gonna get in the building, man. Fernando's in here waiting already, man. Fernando, what it do, man? I got to give him a proper introduction, man. For those of you who don't know Fernando, my gosh, where should I start? He's graced the stage with Ella Fitzgerald. Is that enough, y'all? Nah, Luther Vandross? How about Bruno Mars? How about John Legend? How about Pharrell? How about he's been on the Oprah Winfrey Show? How about, more importantly, he taught at my high school I went to, man, and he's inspired hundreds of kids to pick up instruments and inspired them through playing songs and instrumentation, man. We got the great Fernando Pullum in the building, man. What it do, big homie?
What's up, man? How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Nervous.
I'm doing good, man. You look like Michael Jordan over there, man. How you doing, man? I appreciate you coming into the barber tonight. Go ahead.
He's not that good. He can't play as well as I can.
Who's not that good?
Michael Jordan. I'm way better.
Okay, you wait. Yeah, if you picked up a trumpet, you know what I mean? Maybe if you shot it, you know what I mean? I appreciate you coming in, man. And yeah, man, Fernando is an LA legend, man. And yeah, man, thanks for coming in, man. And thanks for opening up your contact list too, man. We got some of your great friends coming in. And let's jump into this, man. Where do you want to start? You want to start childhood? You want to start Washington High School? Where you want to start?
Where do you want to start?
Well, I know from what I was just introduced to your childhood when we was at the property the other day. We was doing a rehab about your childhood, and I was like, "Whoa," you know what I mean? I was like, "Wow, interesting child," because we have similar childhoods. You know what I mean? When you started talking about your parents, I didn't, you know what I mean? And wherever you want to go, I'll go with you.
Well, that's what Brian. I'm waiting on. Brian is texting me too. I'm multitasking.
Okay, well, take your time with it.
So basically, you know, I teach because I want to be able to give what was given to me, and I believe that the music actually saved my life because I'm sorry. So I'm sorry, Brian was just texting. He's actually recording. I don't know. I'm supposed to say the artist, but he's recording right now. He's texting me that he's finished her vocals and about to get on.
Oh, we
But
gonna
anyway,
ask. We gonna ask him anyway. We gonna ask him. We gonna be nosy.
all
you
right.
know, we in the barbershop. You know what I mean?
So, but anyway, so as a kid, both my parents were drug addicts. My mom, unfortunately, was a prostitute across the street from me, from my middle school. But no one knew that it was my mom's. But I would hear them making disparaging remarks about her, and so I was like super, super violent as a kid. I was, fighting every day. We made guns out of antenna and wood. We called them zip guns. And I actually finally bought a gun when I think I was in 7th grade. But I was like super, super violent because that was my defense mechanism. Because I didn't want anyone teasing me, and around my mom, I saw, 2 people murdered,
Wow.
And I picked up the trumpet, I made it sound on a bugle, and I got my first round of applause from people because they used to predict that, oh, he's going to be in prison, and then my father's side, they actually started the Vice Lord Street Gang in Chicago. And it's in the book, the stories are so crazy that I said, man, they sound like they're being made up, but it's just really, 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 really crazy. And so I grew up with all this stuff, and when I finally made it out from playing, when I was playing music, and I actually flunked high school, spent an extra year in high school because I received a scholarship to Grambling and Howard University, and my mom, I lived with her my senior year, bragging about me getting a scholarship, so I flunked on purpose, and I refused to go to summer school. It just irritated me and she never heard me play, and I literally have played on just about every show, The Tonight Show, Saturday Night Live, Soul Train, BT Awards, just about every show. And my mom's never heard me play, a performance. She's heard me play around the house, but she's never witnessed a performance. And she's deceased now. But I say all that to say, I'm not, people, when I say that, people think you making disparaging remarks about my mom. I'm not. She actually inspired me to do what I do also because she was such a brilliant woman that I found myself trying to make up for her shortcomings and prove to people that she was brilliant. So if you ask me like, hey, man, you're really good, you're smart, and I could always say, you should see my mother, she's better. And that was really what pushed me because I had even my relatives would say, what happened, where's your mom at? They knew she was in jail. They would just say that and say, you should be taking care of your mom. And as a kid, I've gotten beat up many times, like run around like with a razor blade in my hand to help her fight. Just really ridiculous things. I would get beat up all the time, but I was there trying to protect my mother. And I think the most devastating thing for me, I think most people want to think that their moms and their parents, are angels, and they were tricked into these, terrible circumstances. But I was in a hamburger stand with my mother, and this drug dealer walked in and said, look at you now. You begged me for that stuff. Now look at you. And that like crushed me. I said, my mother begged for drugs? I said, wow. I mean, and then I felt like I kind of gave up then. I couldn't protect her anymore. I mean, I can't protect anyone that was, allowing themselves to be the victim. So, but music was, everything to me. So when I finally made it, was able to play, and I graduated from Michigan. I didn't even want to fill out that college application. Michigan cost a fortune, and you couldn't really get in. I practiced like 8 hours a day to try to get in. I turned the television up as loud as I could, and I played softer than the television because no one ever complains about a TV.
Yeah.
But everyone complains about a trumpet.
Gotcha.
So as long as I was playing soft on the television, I was okay. So I made it miraculously made it to Michigan. I didn't have any money. They gave me a full ride, paid for my clothes. They gave me a stipend that I could survive, and I never went home after that. It was just really, and it was such a difference from Chicago, because when I walked to Ann Arbor, people started speaking to me. I said, "What is going on?" It was just threw me off. It was so, in the city, if someone stares at you for a minute, looks at you for like 3 seconds, then you look at them back, and like you might do like, give them a little head nod or something like that. Like, "What's up? I'm not scared." You keep on rolling. But they said, "How you doing?" I said, like, "Is this dude trying to hit on me? What's going on with this guy? He's speaking."
Right,
So
right.
it was such a liberating thing to just be yourself and smile, that I never want to go back to that. So then I went to Washington High School.
Yeah. General.
And it was, I believe in, like you kind of start putting these thoughts in your head, and then they come to fruition somehow. And I was actually planning on Washington High School. The story was, I went downtown, took a test to be, I had to take a subject test. So I took the subject test, and when I finished the test, and I called up to the music office, and I told them, I took the test, what do I do next? They said, "Well, you'll never make it here because, there are a lot of music teachers and musicians in Los Angeles." So I didn't complete the application process, and so then when I played with the Temptations, I thought I made it. Played one gig with the Temptations in Fort Tops, because they had that Motown 25 thing.
Yeah.
And it took me another 3 months to get a gig. That was horrible. So then I ended up getting a gig with Michael McDonald. He was doing a fundraiser at Washington High School with the
Sure.
Challengers Boys Club. And I heard George McKenna speak. And I was sitting on the stage and said, "Man, I wish I could teach at that school, man. That's the best school ever. I want to work with that guy." So I went home, and I had also been playing at Holman United Methodist Church, as my grandmother was in the choir. My grandmother moved out to California prior to, when I was a little kid. So, and that's one of the reasons I came out here too, because I love my grandmother, and I didn't get a chance to see it enough when I was growing up. And so I played with one of her choir members was in the Holman choir. And the Holman choir member, sorry, she was the head counselor at Washington High School. So they invited me to come up and interview. And McKenna was hated by the district at that point in time, because he did what he wanted to do.
He was a rebel, huh?
Absolutely.
I got Jhene on mine, so I didn't get him.
He would get rid, man. Either you worked or you had to leave. And so he interviewed me, and I was like falling down. "Man, I got to have this job." He said, "Man, that was a long time ago, and I was a skinny kid, looked really young." He said, "You can't have this." "Yes, I can. Yes, I can." He said, "You won't have any money." I said, "Yes, I can." And then he said, "Okay, I'm going to give you a chance." So and he told the secretary to call downtown and tell them that he wanted to hire me, that he had found this music teacher. And she said, "Mr. McKenna," they said, "you can't hire anyone. You have to take the next person on the list." And he was apologizing to me, and I just was feeling bad. I felt bad. And then the secretary said, "The next person on the list is Fernando Pullum." Because I didn't finish the process, but I had scored, like, I had a 99 on the subject area test. And I just walked in, got the job. I quit I wanted to quit every week, literally. I think I did my first when I did my first homecoming, no, not homecoming, dance after the football game. I'm standing out in the cold where everyone's in the gym. They put all the rookie teachers outside in the cold. And I hear people say, "Man, I put my gun up in the tree." I said, "What the hell?" I'm out here. They had guns, and I'm outside. And then I think the first week of school, I saw someone get shot in the butt on Normandy on 106th. And people were chasing the car.
Wow.
I mean, it's like they're raining people. But I had my dream was to teach at Washington High School, and I managed to realize that dream. And everything I seen and dream about, like I used to want. As a kid, we used to watch the television show Mission Impossible. I said, man, I want to play Mission Impossible. I want to play Mission Impossible. I love to play that show. And then next thing you know, I get called by Lalo Schifrin. So I got to play the Hollywood Bowl with Lalo Schifrin, who wrote Mission Impossible. So playing the Mission Impossible theme with Lalo Schifrin, and it's also it was Ella Fitzgerald's concert.
What year is this, by the way? What year is this?
Man, I can't remember. I don't even remember. It's in the mid 80s.
Mid 80s, yeah, because you started in Washington. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And man, it was because I had seen Ella. I sneaked in her concert when I was in college. We played in Montreux, Switzerland, and I actually sneaked into one of her concerts because I didn't have any money. So I put my suit on and walked in with my horn. So I was sitting in the room, I was sitting in here watching her interview. So I really wanted to play with her too. So it's like, so now I'm with Ella Fitzgerald, who I dreamt about playing with, and playing with Mission Impossible on the stage at the Hollywood Bowl. And then Lalo Schifrin at the end, and I had also played with Anita Baker earlier that day. And it was crazy because I shouldn't even say this kind of stuff, but Anita could be kind of tough.
Okay.
And so she came backstage and she said, Fernando, introduce me to Ella. And I walked into Ella Fitzgerald. I was like really mad at Anita because the rehearsal was really, really kind of rough. And then so I walked into Ella Fitzgerald's dressing room. I said, hey, Ella, this is Anita Baker. And Ella said, Anita who?
Wow.
She said, Anita who? I said,
you introduced Anita Baker to Ella Fitzgerald. I'm going to share the story. That just got, okay, good. I'm having like one of these moments right now. Good.
Yeah, so and then even after that, then Lalo Schifrin, and there's so many giant people in Hollywood, they say, man, I'm gonna call you for this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And most times, 90% of the time, when you're in the arts, they're lying all the time. They don't they just do it. They don't really have to make these big public announcements that they're gonna do something for you. If they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. So Lalo Schifrin said, man, I'm gonna call you for something. And then the next thing you know, he called me, and I did some of those Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry movies with him. Did a couple of movies with him, and then we did 5 episodes of Mission Impossible on FX. And I was like, man, you have to. If you put things in your head, they really do manifest themselves. I mean, who would think that Mission Impossible had to have been off the air 20 years? And they brought it back for 5 episodes. And I got to realize that dream, which was, the only dreams I didn't realize, I wanted to play with Michael Jackson and James Brown. I played with James Brown's band, but not James Brown. Oh man.
Talk about the kids at Washington High School. Once you got grooving.
Well, first, like I said, I wanted to quit all the time. They were horrible at first. They were absolutely horrible. And I mean, it was the band, the first bands were me, a TA, and 2 students that would actually listen. And so we started, those 2 students in the TA and I, we played some little gigs, had to take them off campus. We played a hotel, and they come back and said, man, we had a chicken dinner at the Hilton. Then all of a sudden, people want to be in the band.
Absolutely.
The food is a great motivator. And then they called, and I think the pivotal point for us was, we had won the city championship in marching band, but I didn't have a jazz band yet, really. So then they called. Bill Cosby actually requested an inner city band. And so they called me and asked me, did we have a jazz band? I said, yeah. I said yes to everything. We didn't have a jazz band. So I came in, I went into the rehearsal, and so the 2 played, now you play bass. I just started putting instruments on people. And then I played a professional recording of like the best band, the Thad Jones band. That was the top band in the world. And I told them that this is a high school band from New Orleans. We have to sound like this.
Hmm.
Then it's a huge lie. So I gave them the music, and then we went like a measure at a time, inch by inch, measure by measure. And I would yell at them. I made them do push-ups, and then inside I'd be praying. And the bass player told me he practiced in his closet all the time because he couldn't play in the house. So he had to sit in the closet all night and practice the bass parts. And so then when they finally got through that one song, I showed them the record. I said, "This is a professional man. You see what you can do." And that was like, but not only did I teach them a lesson, but I taught myself a lesson, which I live by today. It's like you can't put limitations on other people. That's what people do. They say, "Man, I can't do that." Because if we played the music that we're supposed to be playing, we've been playing beginning band music. But if you think from that point on, I just played music. We played really, really hard things, and some of the pros will be looking at it and say like, I can't believe they're playing that. Like, but the kids are going on, we have the young lady went out with Beyonce. We have every time I look on the Grammy Awards, we see someone from Washington High School, playing. It's always that going. Then you all that West Coast rap. Jinx was there, Yo-Yo was there, Johnny J produced most of Tupac's stuff. He was in the band too. He was playing drums. So you got all these guys that became like really, really incredible artists. And it's funny because I would see some of them I was playing some hip hop too because I was playing with the Brand New Heavies.
Yeah, we talked about that
with Tone Loc. I was doing the stuff I was doing the Delicious Vinyl stuff, so the kids would see me on the gig, and they couldn't even speak to me anymore because they can't call me Mr. Pullum. You can't be a hardcore rapper, gangster rapper, and say, "Hey, Mr. Pullum." So they would just like walk by, But now people speak too. Now they're speaking, and I still play with some of them because, and when I played with Bruno Mars. We did like 3 TV shows with Bruno Mars, but the whole section were my former students from Washington High School.
Wow, really?
Yeah, man, it's a trip because they play better than me now. And that's like, I mean, well, I played Whitney Houston's last concert too, and Ryan Porter, who went to Washington, was playing trombone. And I used to yell at that kid all the time, like all the time. He's touring the world now with his own band and also with Kamasi Washington. He did that. He did that. Michelle Obama. He's playing on the Michelle Obama documentary. So Whitney comes in to the rehearsal and she's telling jokes, and everyone's obliged to laugh, and they all laughing at Whitney's jokes. I'm sitting here with tears in my eyes because to my right is this kid that I taught who's now just killing me. He's playing way better than me. And I was like, it was like one of the most proud moments I had. Here on the stage with Whitney Houston with one of my students. It was, and it's always incredible to play with them.
Yeah. You've had a lot of fruit fall off the tree, man. What satisfaction do you get out of it? I mean, you use the word tears, but when you sit back in your rocking chair, what I mean? Is that the goal?
No, that was never the goal.
Wow.
You can't predict those things. But I'm just as happy when I go into the DMV and say, "Mr. Pullum, you have to wait in line." It's like, whoa.
You just got your whole day back, right?
Oh man.
I know, man.
I mean, it's like, you think about it, I also taught, at Southwest College. You think about the number of students for 30 years of teaching. Washington High School at one time, it's like 3,000 to 4,000 people at that school, then Southwest College. You end up knowing half the city. So there are no private moments that I can actually have.
Mm. Have you
You
come
know,
to grips with the term legend yet?
no, I'm not. I'm not a legend. That's not.
No, you don't foresee it. Why not?
You know, no, because that means first of all, it means you're done.
You're nowhere near done, man. You want Degman doing it all
Exactly.
over again.
No, you know what? Because I never. I mean, it's when the arts. You know, it's like when
Mm.
you're in the arts, it's like, it was you're always chasing something.
Mm.
And if you're not chasing something, you're just not doing it anymore.
Mm.
You're always going to be chasing things until you die. Benny Carter came up to Washington High School. He's in his 80s, and he's apologizing to me for not practicing. He's in his 80s.
Mm.
Lionel Hampton played with us at Washington High School too, and he
Mm.
was 88. And first of all, when he walked in the door, it looked like, first I had this whole auditorium full of people.
Mm.
And Lionel Hampton comes in, and I said, we're going to play with Lionel. We worked out all his songs. And he
Mhm.
came in on a walker. And I
Mm.
said, oh, I got an auditorium full of people, and this guy can't play. I said,
Mm.
what are we going to do? So he took the walker, and he inched it up to his vibraphone, pushed the walker out the way, and he came to life.
Mm.
And then the next thing you know, he's yelling at me and said, I'm trying to help direct the band. He said, no, I cut off the band. I said,
Mm.
but it's like, you're always going to be chasing, as long as you live, perfection. And it's like, I don't, you don't have, and especially where we work at in South LA,
Mm.
you don't have time to take a bow.
Mm.
Not at all.
Did you ever consider, because obviously by the time 1995, 96 hit, you're world renowned, you're recognized definitely locally. Was there ever any offers like to leave Washington? Because you were
Uh,
there for
er,
over 20 years.
uh, all the time,
Mm.
because I was doing arrangements for people too,
Mm-hmm.
and because I was, but Washington High School afforded me, it taught me how to do arrangements actually because we didn't have any money,
Mm.
because Etta James, my first arrangements was Etta James, and she said, hey,
Class.
so and I never, once I just say yes to everything because she said, hey, can anyone do an arrangement? I said, I can. Never been had never done it before in my life. I
Ah.
wrote some marching band
Uh-huh.
songs
Wow.
for Washington High School, but
Mhm.
because we had no money, I had to write the marching band songs.
Mhm.
I was able to do a couple of arrangements for Etta James,
Mm.
and it's like so no, and then I did arrangements for Beck, and he had won the Grammy that year and all that stuff, and so it's and when at that time they were saying, hey man, they were gonna give me my whole month's salary per week to leave, and I just couldn't do it. I just didn't want that. That was not my dream. My dream was to play and be a teacher, not just to go out and play. And I had opportunities to play too. So
Mhm. What's what's some moments on stage that stands out, or even like behind the scenes, like as it relates to the people you've worked with?
I I, I think playing wise, oh wow, there've been a lot of them.
Well, take
You
your time.
know,
Take your time.
uh,
We leave when you're
uh,
done.
I think one of my earlier gigs, I played with Gladys Knight and the Pips
Mm.
before they broke up and
Mm.
before she went solo. And man, they had these concerts called Budweiser Superfest, and all these artists and we
Yeah.
had the Rose Bowl playing.
That's Al Heyman's, but why the Superfest? Yeah.
It was killing.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm on stage, and I was it's so much awe. I'm just looking at the performance, and this is a legendary trumpet player next to me. His name is Bobby Bryant, and
Mhm.
I'm supposed to be playing, but I'm like getting distracted looking at the show. So Bobby like leans over to me and says, "Hey man, if you're gonna watch the show, you need to get yourself a ticket." So that was like, so that was it stood out. It sounds negative, but it wasn't. Getting kicked off the stage by Ray Charles.
Oh, talk about that. Talk about that. First of all, how did he see you? How did he see you wasn't playing?
No, he didn't. That wasn't just. It wasn't personal.
I know. Good.
It wasn't personal. He kicked the whole band off.
Wow. You obviously can hear something.
We rehearsed for like a week. He had this. He's a tough man. He was really, really, really tough because one of the stories I heard when my friends was in the band and Ray was saying he picked on him the whole tour. And my friend said, "Man, I got to fight this guy. He's trying to make me fight him." So he finally agreed that he's going to fight Ray Charles. Ray reaches over. This is what I was told. He reaches over, turns off the lights, and said, "Now we even." So the fight didn't happen.
Oh man.
So, but the kids, but it's kind of really weird because I had all this stuff going side by side. I have my moments with Ray Charles, and then alongside that, Washington High School had its moments with Ray Charles too.
Yeah, we got some Washington alumni in the chat. They're gonna call in and talk to you. Some LA, we got some LA kids in the chat. They're gonna come in and say what's up to you.
Well, we had, we won a contest twice. We won 2 contests, and the winner got to record with Ray Charles. And each time they only had it twice too. So it was actually in I forgot the name. It was in Billboard magazine. They did a whole article about it. But it was really interesting because Billboard's they're covering this story, and he was so nice to the kids too. I think he was perfect gentleman. He taught them well. They recorded a tune each time. And it was just fantastic. But he was horrible with the press, and he was started using profanity. "Get the F out of here! Record." He was tough. And then, excuse me, when we won a city championship, one time we won a city championship. I think they were people. I think someone burned our band room down on purpose.
Wow.
And we're right across from the fire station too, which is kind of weird.
Exactly. You are.
I say, I mean, they can run over, and but we still won the city championship. We just, as we marched on the field, we just brought everyone else's instruments. We didn't have instruments, and we had uniforms but no instruments, and we still won the city championship. But after that, Ray Charles made a donation and sent some instruments over, and I thought that was fantastic.
What other stories you have? I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated. And so is the chat. You see, you can't see the chat. The chat is fascinated.
You know what? I think.
Reg, go ahead and call in. Call in real quick, Reg. Let me put the number up. One of your former students is in here, or I'm not sure if he's your student, but he went to Washington High School. Call in, Reg. I think it's for you.
So, okay.
No, go ahead. You good. I'm just looking at your credits, man. It's just insane.
You know what? I think then the other thing, I mean, it's some crazy stuff. Well, the last craziest thing we did, but I played with Anita Baker, Alicia Keys.
Reg is calling in, man. He's been biting at the bit in the chat. What's up, Reg? What's up, Reg? Take your time, man. Take your time.
Man, what's up? What's up, Mr. Pullum, man? Straight Wash House legends, man. What's happening with you, man?
Hey, what? I can't hear you.
No, I was saying, what's up to the Washington legend, man? I was up in Washington from about 95 to 99. No, not 90, 97 to 95. I mean to 99. And I always remember you up at the school. And I have a couple of friends who've played in the band with you. The Crawfords. I don't know if you remember the Crawford brothers. They ended up starting a band called the Wild Bunch and all that stuff.
Are you kidding me, man? But David works for me now. Yeah, of course. I love that family. They're my family. You never let those guys go.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, man. And I was just tripping, man, that, you know, as I got older and I started just tripping off all the you know, we had so many gyms at Washington. A lot of us, because of the area we come from, we kind of took that for granted. And you were one of the staples. I remember you with that band. That band was incredible, and you brought legendary folks up there. I remember seeing Ray Charles when he was coming up there. A few years before his death, you used to have George Clinton up there. And I remember seeing you on Oprah, and I was tripping off of that when you got the huge donation for Oprah. How did that thing come about?
We were in an article in the newspaper. I think they got it from an article, and you know, and they knew the backstory. For 15 years, I believe we had 100% graduation, and only one kid not to go to college out of the band program. So that was a huge part of it. Yeah, because the story is about like people who inspired someone, and then the best thing about the Oprah for me was I got to take my former teacher on too.
Oh, and who was that?
Marcellus Brown. I wasn't going to college. I wasn't. I was selling shoes in a shoe store, and went to visit one of my friends in the college. And then he said, "Hey, that guy can play." And then I went to a school similar to Southwest, and then he was teaching at, but he graduated from Michigan. He said, "No, this is not enough challenge for you," and you know, he took me up to Ann Arbor and got me in, and which is really kind of phenomenal because he's like a coach. You build a band, you're like a coach. You don't give away your better players and tell them to go on to another team, but he sacrificed his program to make it for the betterment of me.
Right, man, and I was always, man, like you were saying, how you had such a high graduation rate. You guys are some key figures, man, and I commend you for being where you had opportunities to even walk away and pursue a professional career. I see you got a Grammy in the back. You had so many things on the table, but you chose to teach at, man, what was known as one of the refs of school, probably in LA Unified School District. And for you to remain there, that's some honorable stuff, man.
Well, I learned more. I think I tell people all the time, if you're actually teaching people, you learn it too. So I learned too, because even like I was telling Fred earlier, like about my background. I can only say that when I got to Washington, because before Washington, I hid in shame, and I got to Washington. I said, man, and people were looking at you, said, you don't understand what I'm going through. I said, yes, I do. And I was able to tell my story to them, and it just released all of my demons because, it helped me. It helped me too. So, it's always mutually beneficial with both people, for the teacher and the student.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's incredible seeing you on here. I was happy when Fred said he was gonna bring you, but like I said, man, you're one of the legendary figures at Washington. You ought to have a statue out front. Who else was there? I remember actor teacher, Mr. Swinton, Miss Lamont, who we just thought was the damn drill sergeant, but what she was doing,
she was rough.
I understand. I understand what she was doing right there. I understand her missing her path and just looking back on, man, because Washington, a lot of folks I grew up, we have lost so many people tragically from that high school. And Miss Lamont thing was, she really cared, even though it seemed tough, she cared. But it was the same thing with McKenna, because I always tell people about that George McKenna story was the same story that got Denzel Washington his first break in the lead role, and a lot of folks don't know that. But so Washington is a staple. It's a national staple when it comes to high school. Boys in the Hood, you got Yo-Yo Cube and all them I hear come up out of there. So man, I feel like it's an honor and a pleasure to even have the school is in my neighborhood, to go there and man and see you on here and the great success you have brought to a lot of folks' lives, man. I'm sure a lot of people who have families And when they look back on their lives, the story's going to begin with you. And unfortunately, I ain't getting into the band because of at Henry Clay. I don't know if you remember or if you knew Colonel Spencer at Henry Clay. I was doing a band with him, and then some of the homies used to not so much peer pressure, but being kind of talked about being in the band. I gave up on that band stuff, and probably would have turned out to be a cool saxophone player if I would have went into your program when I got to high school, man.
I'm sure you where you need to be at.
Oh yes, indeed. Yeah, my pursuit in life is I turned out to be a good representative of the area. So college graduate, military vet, which I don't think much of that, but I turned out all right. But unlike many of the peers from Washington, a lot of them in and out of prison. My brother, for one, many of them friends from up there have been killed. But luckily, I've been able to escape all the ills of the area. So, but man, you and a lot of your kids have avoided that just based on what they've learned from you. But it's an honor speaking with you, man.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes, indeed. I'm gonna call back in the chat to open the line.
Say it again.
No, he just wanted to say thank you, man. Man, he just an appreciation, man. You a legend, dog. You a legend. I told you you're a legend, dog. I didn't know you, but I didn't know you because I was chasing that basketball in them little skirts, man. And I was trying not to wear them uniforms, but you are a legend, dog. And but before we take this call, man, we got all these LA numbers about to call in, man. You got a friend that want to chime in, man. One of your former students, everybody in the world knows her, man. You can't play with my what? You can't play with my what?
Yo, don't play out. I'm trying to play out my yo.
Thank you for coming in, man. She just got off the ones and twos to hear my little crummy voice, man. I just want to say thank you, man. Thank you for coming in. And again, I just want to say thank Mr. Pullum for opening up his contact list, man. And it's just great to have you two in here. Thank you so much.
Mr. Pullum has always been somebody I can call on, rely on. He's a great man. He always shares his resources, his relationships. I would not have the foundation that I have without him, and I just love him so much.
You getting all this love, man. We gotta give you your flowers, man, while you're alive, man.
No, you know what? See, I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of hers, and I asked her to come on because I think people need to know what she's doing, and because she's doing, it's not just about making records. She's reaching back, and she's bringing up a generation of people behind her, and especially this pandemic, we need to be supporting her, as a community, and lifting her up and supporting her program, and throw her some dollars.
Let's do it.
And I brought her in so she can tell you what she's doing. And she needs some support. Not just fans. Give her. She needs some support. That's why I stay here.
Feel free. You knee deep in. You knee deep into the cause, man. She knee deep into it, guys.
More than just that. Thank you so much. Just the support. I just love doing what I do. My blessings come from, I work with the youth. I have dedicated my life to the community. I've changed my arts program into an academics program. I am the ambassador for the Black College Expo, as well as the ambassador for the Fernando Pullum Foundation and organization. What I do is I teach kids how to turn sentences into paragraphs into essays, by how to get A's in English through Hip Hop with Yo-Yo. Help kids get scholarship dollars through the College Expo. What else do we do? We just do a lot of great things. We just use our platform, and we just do what we're supposed to do. This pandemic has hurt a lot of artists. It's harsh to all of us. So it's nothing that I need like no other artist needs. I want to just create a platform and for kids right now who want to learn how to play drums, but not. This indoor things, the reason why I decided to share my craft or my knowledge, and to give what it was always what I wanted. So yeah, I mean, the dollars will come shortly, but if there are any organizations out there that are doing any after school programs, Yo-Yo School of Hip Hop would like to participate. If you know any young kids out there, who special needs, who looking for special programs, we'd like to just work with them and participate with them. We just want to be in the mix during this time because I think it's necessary that we don't just, sing for an organization to raise money, but we tap into the community in which we, that's what we do.
Why stay in the neighborhood when you can use your status, your fame, your accolades to hang out in the hills,
Well, you know what? I was in the hills and, and then I came back home and God said, don't it feel good to come full circle? Don't it feel good to get love? You've been crying for love. You've been begging for people to use you. Isn't it good to be needed? Isn't it good to be wanted? And that's who needs me, my community.
Now, you and Fernando obviously have a relationship. Can we take it back a little bit?
I'd love to.
What did you see in him? And I want to ask him, what did you see in her?
Well, I'll go first.
Who's first?
Okay. Ladies first, Mr. Pullum. Ladies first.
Well, Mr. Pullum was just, he was just determined. And, I didn't know who he was then. It wasn't until he started pushing me. And showing love that made me realize who I was. I mean, when he used to tell us, he made me believe that I can do anything. And even after I became Yo-Yo out of school, bringing me back to the school, I mean, that was a level of, he changed the game for me. That was a level up for me because he showed me how to give back. I was young. He brought me in and showed me how to. And and every time I would call him, even when I didn't know what, I would just give him a call like, hey, what do I do about this? He'd always pick up. He'd just say, you know what, Yo-Yo, give me a second. Let me make this call. Let me do this. Hold on. And I started admiring that. And I'm like, he's more than just a teacher. He's a mentor. He is a man of his word. He is a lover. He is a man with a great heart. He loves people, and I can tell it. And it makes me realize that what I have, it's what I'm supposed to do. It's not like, I don't have a choice. He shows me how to be. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, I can speak to that too, because he always invites me places and he knows I can afford the tickets. He always say, Fred, come along, man. I said, no, Mr. Pullum. No, I'm not getting nothing free from you, man. I can't take nothing free from you. He's a pillar in the community, man. And I mean, it was very refreshing, Yo-Yo, that I'm actually doing a rehab. My business partner and I are doing a remodel on his block. And he comes walking by and I was like, Mr. Pullum, that's you, man. It was just so surreal, man. It's so surreal. So I know your address, man. So anytime you act up, I got you. You know what I mean? But before we get to how you respond, you got another special guest in here, man. You got another special guest in here, Mr. Brian Warfield, man. From the bottom, now we're here. Hey, I appreciate you coming in. It's a party, y'all.
What up? What's going on, man? How you doing?
Yeah, man.
What's going on?
Well, I think I just need to sit back and just let y'all go, man. I'm just gonna fan out with me and everyone in the chat, and y'all getting a lot of love in the chat, man. You know what I mean? They said we on some LA love type stuff. Wow, what a legend. Yo-Yo in real life. You know what I mean? It's just amazing. Remember watching your videos on Yo MTV Raps, man. Absolutely. It's a community. It's just the chat is going off, man. And before you answer, thank you for coming in, Brian. We truly appreciate you, man. And
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Mr. Pullum put out the $1 million teaser. He said you're working on someone's vocals, and he wanted you to spill the beans.
Okay, yeah. Well, I can't spill too many of them right now, but but yeah, no, I'm in the studio right now with Jhene Aiko. She just dropped her album not too long ago, but we're dropping the deluxe. As soon as we wrap up tonight, so hopefully it'll be out there real soon. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's what's up, man. I appreciate you coming in and
I didn't say that, Brian.
Oh yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Fans, yeah, it's just a little teaser for the fans, but yeah, it's on the way. It should be here real soon. So
yeah, and talk about your relationship with Mr. Pullum real quick. Yo-Yo will be right back, guys.
Okay, Mr. Pullum, man, yeah, we go way back. Well, first of all, first of all, why you upside down? Why you upside down? First of all, man, what's going on with you?
I'm upside down.
That's you.
Oh, it's on me. Okay,
you.
on my screen, he's upside down, but it's all good. But now, what were you about to say? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Pullum. Uh-oh.
I said it's not a funeral.
No, it's not a funeral. It's a celebration. It's actually a celebration of all y'all, man. Like it's just a celebration. Right. Y'all have done some amazing things. One, in the community. Two, in your field of choice. And three, you've inspired a motherfucking you're literally currently, past, present, and future going to inspire a generation. We talked about the few of the fruits that fell from your tree, and literally on my screen, they're below you. So we got 2 pieces of your fruit literally falling from the tree right before our very eyes. So yeah, it's not a funeral, but go ahead, Brian. Take your time.
Well, I was gonna say, I go way back with Mr. Pullum. Well, first, I went to Washington Prep, and but the reason I even went to Washington in the first place, when I was in elementary school, I'm 35, so elementary school was a while for me. But I was in the 5th grade, and I did this audition. Trumpet was my first instrument, so I did this audition for a scholarship, and Mr. Pullum was actually one of the judges. And afterwards, when I played, he went up to my dad and was like, "Yo, your son got some talent. You should have him come over to the high school and play with the older kids to get experience." So while I was in the 5th grade, my dad after school would take me over to Washington, and I would play with all the high school kids at the time. And so when it was actually time for me to be in high school, I ended up going to Washington for my 11th and 12th grade year, where I linked back up with Mr. Pullum, and he's been a great guy, a great mentor. Even when I was at school, he was linking me with studios, and because he saw my passion, and so whatever he could do to help, he was always willing. And so that's why even to this day, I show him all the love in the world. Whatever he needs, I got him, and he's the community man. He put just gave so many people opportunities, especially through music, man. A lot of people, wouldn't be where they would be, where they're at without him. And so I just appreciate him for that, and great guy, man. So much love to Mr. Pullum always.
Go ahead, Mr. Pullum. Just to double down on what I said. Oh, go ahead. No, please go ahead, Mr. Pullum.
No, these guys inspire me. Period. My first time in New York, I was actually playing with the Brand New Heavies, and I got on the train, got on the A train, went to Harlem because I just had to see Harlem. I walked up out the subway, and the first thing I saw was this huge billboard with Yo-Yo on it. Man, I was like, what in the heck? I mean, it was just crazy. And I see Brian, producing Grammy Award records. You see guys doing that. I don't know how many Grammy Award winners that we have now, Brian. Do you know?
I don't.
The last time I counted was 6. But I think I'm a little bit short from Washington High School. Not just the Grammys are not just the end all, but we have some great artists and great people. So that's the important thing. And Brian is a great person, and his dad. And I love his father. And it's the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. And Yo-Yo's mom, because she worked at Washington High School too.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's the family.
Yeah, so Brian, we're going through your discovery, man. We got Jasmine Sullivan, Miguel. One of my favorite songs, Arch and Point. You know what I mean? It just goes, you work with Drake. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, appreciate
Snoop
it.
Dogg, Molly Music. You know what I mean? Talk about it, man. Talk about it. Take your time, man. It's surreal.
Yeah. I mean, it all started with the trumpet, man. That was like, like I said, my first instrument. So just growing up, my dad, shout out to him. He made sure every school I went to was music based. I had, always had private teachers. So, I didn't really have a plan B growing up. It's just, always music. So but when I got to high school, I was fortunate enough to, find my lane and start producing. And actually Jasmine Sullivan, that was like the first placement that my partner and I, fisticuffs is what we go by. So that was our first placement. And actually, it's funny, our first placement ended up getting us our first Grammy nomination and our first gold record, too. So out the gate, it was like, this is it. So, but after that, Miguel was the next artist we developed. And, this was like the MySpace day. So we would just put songs on our page. He put songs on his page. And next thing you know, he was getting millions of hits. The label started, reaching out, and he got signed, and we produced the majority of that first album. So that was like our first official, stamp. And just been fortunate from there just to be growing and getting recognition and stuff. It's a great feeling, man. So
Brian, I've done a lot of work to that P is mine, dog. I just want to let you know that right now. Or I've had imaginations about that P is mine. Salute to the check, because I already know they. And if I open up these phone lines, they're gonna go buck wild. I'll open in a second. Talk about Jhene Aiko. I have lunch with her by accident about twice a year. Simply wholesome, but and I talk to her and say hi and all that. But talk about the relationship with you. It seems like y'all have a real like bond.
Yeah. Well, Miguel and Jhene, those are the two artists we developed or been with from the ground up before they were signed and everything, right? So same with Jhene too, like, MySpace, just putting songs up. The first mixtape she put out, Sailing Souls, we, produced, and I had like 1 million downloads. And then from there, labels came. And then, but yeah, with her, we've been with her since the beginning too. And on this last on the Chilumbo project that just came out, I think we got like 9 on there. So, but as far as her, I mean, she, just great person, man, beautiful soul. We've been fortunate to work with some real good people. And that's the thing. It's like, it's damn near 10 years plus, no contracts, just,
strictly independent, 100% independent.
Well, no, I mean, she signed, but I'm just saying, as far as like, like the relationship, there's no, nothing binding us to stay working together 10 years plus.
Wow, that's real loyalty.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And, just the mutual respect is there, the love is there. It's pretty much family at this point. So that's why we're rocking years later. And, and I'm just happy that, it's just every year it's getting bigger and bigger. And, it's just, taking off one song at a time. So, it's beautiful to see.
What song like that you make amazes you? Like, do you have a song that like say, yeah, we did that shit? You know what I mean?
I mean, there's a lot of them, to be honest.
I know it's a lot of them.
Yeah, and some of them, it don't even be the songs that be the hit records, but it's just at the end of the day, it's always, when you just create something from scratch and just to see it manifest and turn into something that you're proud of, so it's kind of hard to just pick one, because there's so many different vibes. And we got sexy songs, we got club records, so it just depends on how I'm feeling at the moment. But yeah, really, like I said, anytime you just starting from scratch and you just see a song manifest and become like, something catchy that you love, or you don't mind hearing all the time, that's a win for me. So we have a lot of wins. So
go ahead, Fernando. He's 35 years old, gonna work with some of the best. Obviously a sense of satisfaction, but when you look back at that freshman kid and you look at a 35-year-old man, what comes to your mind?
You know what? The better than the music is the person. Because a lot of people can't handle success. And they become, they morph into some of these crazy figures that you never want to be around. So I'm just happy that he's kept his feet on the ground with all the stuff that's happened to him in the industry.
How satisfying is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's gratifying. That's really gratifying. I mean, really, really, and I think that he gets that from his father. And I know his father really well, and his father worked really, really hard to turn him into a man. And he, I know he's looking down from heaven, satisfied, because this is the epitome of a man, and that's what I really like.
Hearing words like that, Brian. What?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. And yeah, definitely. Like, my dad raised me. He did a good job, man. So, yeah, I'd be chilling, man. I don't want no problems. You know what I'm saying?
What's music missing, Brian and Fernando? I'll ask you both that.
I don't think it's missing. I mean, I think the stuff is there. It's just, what I guess the masses are subjected to. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of because like you have the whole trap and everything's been going on for a minute, which is cool. It's everything has its place, but I just feel like, and I slowly see it too, like actual real music coming back, and I ain't gonna say real music, but I just mean like the musicality. You know what I'm saying? You have artists. I just feel like the landscape of sound is changing, but yeah, again, I don't think nothing is missing. It's just the songs that become the hit records. If you look at the top 40, how much of it is sounding one way and things of that nature. You know what I mean? So I just hope that it broadens up a little bit to where not everything's sounding the same, because I feel like that's what we're getting a lot of right now. You look at pop, hip hop, right? Like it's just everything kind of has the same, sonic landscape. So so hopefully, like I said, hopefully that can kind of switch up a little bit. But
go ahead, Mr. Pullum.
I don't really see it missing a lot of stuff either. I mean, I would like to see more live performance, and but there are some great artists. There's some people that can actually play. There's some people that can really, really sing. But then we have some that are just, going with the auto tune, and some of them are dancers. They're not artists. They're not musicians. But that's a show. I guess people pay to see that too. But I look at this the production on Beyonce and Lizzo, and I love all that stuff. I mean, I wish I could play more of it. I wish they had more horns. That's the only thing that I see it missing. It's missing.
Yeah, well, Prince and Ray Charles and them. Hey, Brian, I got no. I was making the joke. Hey, Brian, I got a question for you, man. Jhene Aiko over the past few years is like it expanded her sound sonically, right? It's a vibe, eating the groceries, and you've obviously been a part of that. I mean, can you talk about like her progression and your role in that, and like her expanding herself?
Yeah, I think it just comes with with time, like everything that influences us, like where we were and how music was 10 years ago, when we first put out the first mixtape, it's a lot different than it is now, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I feel like what makes us, I guess, stand out, or what we kind of strive for is just, the timeless aspect, right? Because you can listen to, Marvin Gaye stuff, or, Michael Jackson, and, it's like it can still works to this day. And I feel like a lot of that is because of, like the live instrumentation, live elements, right? Because like if you have, all them records from back in the days, they still sound cool now because it's live instruments. Like, you can't really, obviously if you have something with a lot of synths and stuff like that, that gives it a whole another sound. But yeah, a lot of the records, were just based off of just real instrumentation. So, we like to incorporate that in a lot of our music, just, using live instruments when we can, guitars, basses. I feel like with doing that, it kind of gives you that timeless feel, sound. So yeah, as far as like her music, like I said, it changed a little bit, especially with how the landscape of music is going, the stuff that influences us. But at the end of the day, I feel like we set a tone with her sound, with the whole, like vibiness. Jhene's voice is real, sweet, airy. So, we kind of like to put that against, beats that bang, 808s, stuff that has low end, and give it, that juxtapose where it's like, sweet, but it's still, dirty underneath. So I felt like, you know, we always kind of had that, and even to this day, it's like that's still like kind of the foundation. But you know, but yeah, we're always gonna try to, you know, switch every album a little bit, just, you know.
How do you and why do you keep her spirit attached to her music? Because it's so easy with a woman with a great voice. Oh, we gonna do it like this. We gonna do it like that. But her art always and her spirit always seems to be thrusted to the forefront. You know what I mean? No matter what she does, we can still feel her spirit in her music.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, she's a great writer, and you know, she writes all her own music too.
Oh, damn.
So you know, with her, you know, she's able to, you know, have more feeling put into these records because it's really coming from her, you know, from her spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's her writing it, it's her thoughts, it's stuff that she's going through. You know what I mean? So, so yeah, a lot of times, you know, for us, it's just more so like, okay, how are you feeling? You know, what kind of vibe are we going for? You know, we set this tone sonically, but then we kind of just, you know, let her do her thing, stay out the way, and you know, just let her speak her truths. And that's why a lot of people, you know, can relate to her, because, you know, the stuff she's going through is what a lot of, you know, people are going through. So you know, yeah, her but her pen game is nasty, man. She's great. You know what I mean? So,
hey, Mr. Pullum, when you hear the detail in which he speak and the artist he speaks about, and you say like your talent or your pupils have become greater than you, is that like overwhelmingly for you to sit here and digest this?
It's just gratifying. It's like, you know what, I can't say I'm anyone, their father or anything like that.
Hold
But
on one
when you
second.
see them growing, but you feel so invested in everyone that,
Mhm.
and that, you know, you feel just proud. And
Mhm.
and that's what's supposed to happen. It's supposed to evolve into a higher level. If
Gotcha.
it's the same as you are, you didn't really do anything to me. As a father, but you want your kids to live in the same house that you built, or you want them to build a bigger house.
Absolutely right. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got another
And it's
call.
funny.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And what you said, you know, and you know, Jhene lived on this block too.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah, we talked about that.
and
Yeah.
and she has a great mom too. And
Uh-huh.
you know, some of these guys have this great character. They had great parents in front of them.
Uh-huh. So what you're telling me is I'm lowering the property value over there.
No.
Hey, we got another call coming in. We got 636. What's up?
Hey, what's up? This is Ann Fresh, man. Man, it's a pleasure, Mr. Pullum, to just hear all these stories and everything that you're, you know, spreading with us, all this wisdom, all this knowledge. You know what I'm saying, especially about the LA area, and you know what I'm saying, somewhere I grew up in, and it's really powerful too. And did you say that when you in your early years you grew up in the Midwest? Is that correct, or you had a lot of like
Chicago.
different gigs in the Midwest or something like that?
Chicago.
Yeah, in Chicago.
I
Yeah,
grew
I
up
have
in
a
Chicago.
grandmother that had grew up in St. Louis before we had moved to LA. So I just thought that was pretty interesting, you know, the Chicago and St. Louis parallel. So I was wondering, is there any artist that molded and shaped you before you even came to LA from the Chicago area? That was one of my questions I wanted to ask you.
You got. I wouldn't want you to get mad because, well, of course, James Brown. You know, it has to be James Brown. But the first person that I saw as a kid, like on television all the time, because you know, they didn't let us on television. You know, it's a different kind of thing. Like, you know, there was no crossover music back in the day. So we got heavy doses of Elvis Presley. So he was like dancing. He had movies out. So man, they're dancing and having fun. I want to be a musician because you get to dance and have some fun, you know. So that's what first inspiration. But then I got to be around like the Shy Lights, and then
Oh
I, you know, with
wow.
like one school in Ann Arbor, you know, I got to play with, you know, folks there in Detroit. You know, the Spinners, and you know, I think that I played with all those pretty much. Was fortunate enough to play with the Temptations, the Four Tops, the Dells, the Delphonics, the OJs, all those types of groups. So you kind of, they had great instrumentation. And Curtis Mayfield, you listen to that stuff, man. It's a full
Curtis
orchestra.
Mayfield, wow. Yo, my last question to you: is there any artist from the past that did not make it as big as like all the artists that you and all the groups that you just presented? Like, is there any artists or groups that you saw and you were like, wow, that I'm just surprised they didn't make it to the big leagues? Like, was it maybe because of drugs, or maybe they just didn't get it there, or they didn't have somebody pushing them out to the forefront? Because there were so many talented groups. The competition was so heavy in at its apex to me in those 60s, 70s, and 80s, and of course in the 90s era. So, was there any group of artists that sticks out in your mind from that time period that you can remember, that you can recall on?
Well, not really, but we all know, and Brian does, and Yo-Yo does. We all see these groups that come together, and the personalities make them fall apart. And I mean, we all, if you go to church, you hear some really incredible singers that will never ever get a chance. There's some better singers in church than you have that have records. Sometimes there's some great singers that have records, but there's some people in church that really move you, but they would never be able to get a record deal, especially now the way the dynamics of the record industry is now.
Got you. And last but not least, with Brian, man, you're one of the most talented producers and stuff. People need to give you your flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like, early. And I wanted to ask you two questions. One, what artist do you want to work with in the current era that you see that has that potential to be, an all-time great, like the Miguels and Jhene Aiko? So we all know they're going to go into the Music Hall of Fame one day. But is there somebody up and coming that you're like, oh, they got like that old school feel, but with like that new 2020 energy? Does that make any sense? Like, they have both to make that balance that we need in this current era?
Off top, I mean, there's a lot of great artists out there that I would like to work with. I mean, no one specific that I could think of right now that but like I said, we're always open to working with whoever, and we enjoy working with people that are up and coming, and that might not have a name, because a lot of the times they're hungry and something that's refreshing and that people don't are not familiar with. So yeah, I mean, name or not, like we're always looking for just unique voices and people that are just hungry and ready to go out there and get it. So we don't really discriminate as long as you got it.
Right. And when it comes to being a star, like, is it something like with a falsetto, or do you look for something out of the whack, like a soprano type of voice or a Barry White type of voice? Something that's just out of the ordinary to put into, what I'm saying, into the new era. Do you think that having too much of that originality won't work because everybody loves a certain frequency at this point in time? Everybody kind of sounds the same with the same rhythms and like nobody really wants to switch it up like that. And or do you just think it's not what's pushed? Because remember, a lot of people still, for whatever reason, still bump the radio. And when you bump the radio and you listen to that over and over, and they play only 12 to 14 of the same songs, that what becomes, hypnotized, you know what I'm saying, in your own mind frame, in your own mindset. So I just wanted to hear, what do you think can happen to help, change the trajectory of what's going on in music right now? Because I like back in the day, like in the 90s, you had Timbaland beats, and then, you had Violator beats, you know what I'm saying? And then you had, I mean, it was just so many different producers, and it was just something different. You understand what I'm saying? I just wish we had that originality that you just don't really see in today's era.
So, well, that's what I was talking about before too. Like, with just the way, sonically how things are. I feel like now everyone's trying to, it's like a formula to this, these hit records. And, me personally, it's, I mean, yeah, I listen to it. A lot of stuff sounds the same, but I just feel like, since so many people are already doing it, doing stuff that sounds like that, I would rather not, only because, you got everyone else doing it. So why throw it in the pot? So, when we look for artists or, certain people to work with, we are looking for a different tone, you know, something that's different from everything else. Because you know, at the end of the day, I feel like if you play 10 songs, you know, you want the one that's going to stand out rather than, you know, the 9 or the 8 that's going to sound the same. Like, yeah, they might sound good, but it's like, you know, what's going to set it apart. And, you know, that's what I'm looking for, is longevity, just stuff that's different. So, you know, like, yeah, every artist we work with, I feel like we always, vocal tone is, you know, for one, you know, one of the most important things. You know, 2 is writing ability, how well, you know, these songs are. And you know, and 3, as far as like star power, like, you know, it's one of those things where you're born with it. You either have it or you don't, you know. And you can kind of tell when someone walks into a room and is a star, you know, or they have that presence. It's, you know, like, so you can't teach it. It's nothing to explain. It's just, you know, certain people are born with it. And if you see someone that has, you know, all 3, then, you know, that's someone we trying to work with. So, you know, back to what you were talking about too, with certain artists, you know, we looking for someone that got that star power, that's you know, great attitude, and has you know, a great distinctive voice. And you know.
And in closing, I just want to say all 3 of you are Black excellence. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are the elite of what you do. And we need everybody to play their own role and do their thing. And I just appreciate all 3 of you on the panel. 100.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you. So, Brian, did you have a tipping point in your career where you could have went left and could have went right?
Yeah, I think all of us. I mean, you know,
talk about that, because now you in the phase where you're going to be getting a lot of celebratory, you're going to get a lot of free dinners, you're going to get a lot of awards. Now you on the cusp of, if not already, beyond greatness, you know. But there's a tipping point. You mind sharing that with the audience?
I mean, you know, for me, it was just one of those things where, like I said before, I never had a plan B, right? So, you know, it was just working. You know, I tell people this too. It's funny because, like, you know, before I even got my first check in music, I was making beats and just doing music, you know, in the studio for 10 years before I got my first like break. You know what I'm saying? Like my first big break. You know, not to say that everyone is going to have the same story. You know, hopefully it don't take you that long, but you know, but I say that to say that, you know, like for me, it wasn't about money or lifestyle. It's just, you know, I did it because I loved it, right? So, you know, if I'm doing something for 10 years and not getting paid, clearly I'm, you know, I'm loving what I'm doing. So, but yeah, you know, but I think, you know, everything happens for a reason, right? Certain things, like, you know, me going to certain schools and meeting certain people, and, you know, me getting kicked out of this one school to go to this school, you know, where I meet other people. It's like, you know, it's funny how the world works when I look back and you know, kind of look at things like, damn, if I didn't go to this school, if I didn't go to that school, this wouldn't have happened. So, you know, so I guess as far as tipping point, yeah, life is a tipping point. I could have got arrested and, you know, that was it. You know, who knows, right? So, but yeah, just like I said, loving what I do, just didn't have a plan B, didn't stray away from what I wanted to do, and just worked, man, until I found, you know, my niche and found what happened. And I was fortunate to, you know, link with some artists that, you know, took off, and like, you know, like I said, to this day are still loyal. We still work, and you know, are able to, you know, help me get these accolades and these songs that are, you know, chart toppers, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, you know, I just say, man, just, you know, try to be a good person, man. I'm a firm believer in, you know, you get back what you put out. So, you know, I always want to make sure my karma's good. And I feel like that's the reason why, you know, the blessings come down, you know, and people always want to, you know, work with you and things of that nature. Cause, yeah, you know, you just, you know, put some positivity out there, and, you know, hey, that's how I live. So
appreciate it. We got a call from 323. Let's go ahead, 323.
Better believe it's South Central Los Angeles in the building. Better believe it, man. Hey, most of my family out here either went to Locke, and if they wasn't on the east side, then everybody else went to the Wash House. You know what I'm saying? So, Mr. Pullum, I don't know if you really understand, but man, you may not consider yourself a legend, but the people in LA, for sure. And if they went to the prep or around Southwest or anywhere down there, we know exactly who and what you are to us, and not just the music, man. You know, you inspire the community, so you a legend to us. That's for real.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, right on, man. And we had a lot of people that came out of there. You know, Raymond Washington and Tookie. I know you know, they started the Crips, so people don't really talk about them. But man, we had so many people: Gil Garcetti, Cube, Yo-Yo. You know what I'm saying? Me, you, Reggie. I mean, it's just a ton of people that come out from that side. So man, you know, representing. Question though for Brian. So what's the hottest song that you've done that didn't blow up that we can probably go listen to?
Oh man, I don't hottest song that didn't blow up. Shoot, you know, like I said, if you like Jhene, Miguel, you know, I would say listen to them albums. You know, we did majority of them records. There's an artist too that we work with. Her name is Jhene, Yuna. Really, you know, dope, unique voice. She's out of Malaysia, but we did some stuff with her on her last project, 2 projects, and you know, I always thought she was real talented, and you know, so she might be someone you might want to check out. But yeah, it's hard to pinpoint a specific song. Like I said, I had too many.
Listen to her now. We all finna go her up. So all her is gonna blow up. That's real. We finna hit her up. And in terms of like a formula that people have used, so what formula has been like the most successful with creating hits? Is it writing the song first and then adding the production after, or sending a beat to somebody?
Yeah, there's no right or wrong way. You know, at the end of the day, it's all about the final result, right? The final product, which is the song. So, you know, you'll never know if the beat came first or the song came first, but it's just about how the song is put together. And you know, so yeah, I wouldn't say there's a right or wrong way. Yeah, this is every time you start a record, it's a blank canvas, right? So you just want to see the final photo, and you know, you just want to make sure it looks as best as it can.
Yeah, right on. So, question for both of y'all: who are your, other than the artists that you work with? Because I know y'all gonna big them up. Who's got the best live shows?
Best live shows.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
I mean, well, I get, you know, you go Beyonce.
Oh, you got Beyonce.
You got Beyonce, with Bruno Mars, Miguel. You know, that's my boy, but he does a great live show. You know, and then but yeah, I don't know. It's been I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of hard because I don't really go to too many shows.
That's really hard.
Yeah. It depends on the concert too. You know, like you might have, depending on the venue, like, you know, you can have any artist performing at the Super Bowl and it's going to look crazy because they got pyrotechnics and, you know, background dancers. So I guess it just depends on where you're at as well.
Okay. And then the last question I got, and this is for both of y'all, but I really want Mr. Pullum's his take on this. So even with samples, like which hip hop artist has the best use of horns in their music?
The best what?
Horns.
Horns?
Mm-hmm. In music, like I'm asking him again, DB.
So either with live music or with samples, which hip hop artist has the best use of horns in their music?
That's hard. I mean, I think you're saying horns is kind of breaking up on my end.
Yeah, he's saying
I don't know who you classify as hip hop artists now, but I just say artist wise, I just say Bruno Mars, and I say Justin Timberlake. If you were saying horns,
right on.
I don't know if you classify those as hip hop artists because I don't know really people that are really hardcore hip hop artists with horn sections. Do you, Brian? I can't think of anything.
So the last one was about with Lucchini. It was a while ago. But yeah.
Man, listen, we appreciate y'all spending some time with us. You know, I know y'all got busy schedules and a whole lot of more hits to go make. But we appreciate y'all spending some time with us.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you, man. Man, you're getting a lot of love, Mr. Pullum.
Well, thank you.
What's next for you, Brian, after Jhene's project? You have
you know, actually, I don't. My partner and I have been talking about it, but we want to put out a fisticuffs project, you know, sometime soon. You know, with a lot of the people that we work with. And that's the thing too, like we don't really, you know, a lot of producers will put their name all on the track. Like that was never really us. So, you know, we kind of just let, you know, the music speak, but it would be nice to, you know, kind of put a project out just to kind of help with the branding and, you know, letting people know who we are more so. And like I said, we've worked with a lot of people. So I think it'd be cool to just, you know, put a lot of the people we work with and homies on the music and put it out there. And, you know, especially nowadays with everything's streaming, you know, and owning everything. It's like, you know, why not put some music out there, get some streams and, you know, stuff that you own and, you know, just why not, right? So.
Can you talk about the current state of the business of music and we may have some young aspiring artists. Talk about the business of boxing. I mean, excuse me. I'm never talking about boxing, but music, like contracts, 360 deals, staying independent. You mind discussing that? Feel free. Take time too, please.
Yeah, I mean, you know, things kind of changed. You know, like all deals that people are signing now are pretty much, you know, what's called a 360 deal, which means the labels, you know, pretty much taking a percentage of everything. You know, but it's like, you have artists that are doing well, being independent. And it's one of those things, you know, if you're independent, you get, you know, a bigger piece of the pie, but it's also, you know, you have labels that have the power to, you know, kind of move and put your records in, you know, certain positions and things of that nature for stuff to go big. So, you know, everything has its pros and cons. But, you know, if you can, I guess the way now too with social media and stuff, as an artist, you can kind of do your own video, you know, put it out there and you can go viral and do well, you know, just on your own. And honestly, a lot of the labels, when they do sign acts, they're signing acts that are, you know, already popping on their own. So, you know, so that's the beautiful thing about is you can do stuff on your own, right? And put it out and see what happens. And like I said, if you are able to sustain and do independent and you know, obviously get more piece of the pie, then that's great. But sometimes, you know, some people might need the help of a label. You know, so you know, it's pros and cons, but you always want to make sure, first and foremost, you have a lawyer that will make sure you are protected. And you know, don't just go signing stuff just because it sounds good. You want to make sure you have somebody that knows contracts and has your best interests and is going to make sure you're protected. And you know, looking at these deals, because that's what a lot of these artists are signing, these crazy deals, and you know, they sign for 10 albums, and you know, they get mad that they stuck, and it's just like, yo, but you signed it. You know, you should have. You know, why didn't you read that and have some debate about it? You know what I mean? So, yeah, always make sure your contracts are looked over first. That way, you're not caught in a bad position, and you know.
You want to respond to that? You want to add to that, Mr. Pullum?
I can barely hear you.
I'm sorry. You want to add to that about like the pros and cons to being independent versus signing with a label?
Well, you know what? I'm independent regardless. I play trumpet. I don't have the level of responsibility Brian has. You know, I just walk in and do my job and walk out the door.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm a producer too, so you know, we're independent as well. So really, it's more for like, you know, artists. They're the ones that are signing these like artist deals. You know, as a producer, though, you know, we can sign like publishing deals and things like that. But yeah, for the most part, you know, we're free agents as well. So yeah, we don't really have to worry about that whole scenario as well. But artists, you know, that's a whole different thing. So
appreciate it. We got another call in 757. What's up?
This is Triple OG. What's up?
How you
Fernando?
Fernando.
What's the young guy's name?
Brian
and King Fred. How are y'all doing tonight?
How you feeling, brother?
Fine. How you doing?
Okay, Can you hear?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, I got a question. Well, I got a question for Brian. When you mentioned James Brown, you like playing with James Brown. I was watching this movie on the television the other night. I think it was something about the Green Book, where they had this famous piano player who was traveling around the racist South, I guess back in the 60s or something. Do you remember him?
Oh no, you know, I didn't say I wasn't talking about James Brown unless for that Mr. Pullum you did, but
Mm-hmm.
No, I was talking about James Brown. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I played with
Oh,
James
okay.
Brown's band at the bowl, Hubble Bowl,
Yeah, because you
but I
sound
don't
like you
know.
liked it. It reminded me of
I
him. He
didn't
was
see no.
like a classical piano player, and he had like a three-piece band, and I never heard of him before. But now I'm gonna start to look for some of his music because I do like to go to the symphony from time to time. But COVID didn't stop that. Fred don't know I got a little culture, but anyway, I and most of my friends don't know I do that either. I kind of like to go listen to the symphony. But you ever heard of Lloyd Price, who used to be with James Brown?
Mr. Poole. Lloyd Price.
I didn't hear
Lloyd,
that.
did you know Lloyd Price?
They used to
I
be
don't
with
know
James
that
Brown
person.
on concert.
I don't know that person.
Okay, but anyway, my brother, my oldest brother, he plays trumpet. So whenever I hear somebody playing trumpet, I get excited. My youngest brother, he plays, and I just dip and dab with it. You know, I'm that one that like dropped out of the band, but I pick it up every now and then. But I just like something about the trumpet, and I've never heard of you. I heard Winston Marsalis. Now, do you have any music out in anywhere we can go by? I now know why I like Bruno Mars. I heard that horn section in there, and I think you said you played in that background, right?
I played with them. I played with a
Oh,
people. You know, I'm a hired independent person for hire. So I don't play. I'm not in his
oh,
band,
yeah.
but I play like three. I played 3 TV shows with Bruno Mars, and I just
Oh,
played with a bunch
okay.
of different people.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't have a
That was
record.
just
I played on records, but I don't have my own record.
okay,
That's not
Joe.
something I expect.
Anybody got records that you're on? Any symphonies or jazz?
Yeah, I'm on Etta James, Stevie Wonder, uh, Vanessa Williams, um, a number of those records.
Are they
I'm on a
recent
number of
or the ones
records.
back in the 80s?
Uh, I'm on recent and in the 80s. I'm on, and I think I'm in from the 70s.
Okay, I mean, I'm back there. I got all that
Yeah.
music. Now because I always pick out the horn section when I listen to music because of my brother. He used to, it was 7
Yeah.
of us at that time, and his band was able to practice in the house. And the reason, and we never had a problem with it. People would come over, they'd be over there practicing 11, 12 o'clock at night. We got to get up and go to school the next morning. But they was in a competition. The name of his band at that time was the Soul Explosion, and they went up against Parliament Funkadelic. That was way back before everybody hit it, and a group called Cameo, and they won first place. And Lloyd Price wanted to sign them, and he tricked them out of all of the instruments. Man, they came. My mom and them had to send them money to fly them home from Georgia, and they were so hurt, man. And every time I heard Lloyd Price's name, I just went flip, man. And then he was James Brown performed over in Africa for I think it was the Rumble George Foreman's fight. And James Brown did Lloyd Price the same way he did my brothers. And I kind of got a thrill out of it. That's all right. Somebody got him back, but that's neither here nor there. But that just came to my mind that you kind of like James Brown, huh? And you said Ray Charles was kind of what do you say, mean or something, or fired the band or something like that. I
But
was
a
like,
lot of guys.
wow. And you was a part of that, huh?
I mean, well, I've only played with Ray Charles once, but I have friends that play with him a lot of times. But but and my students have played with him twice. So,
Oh, okay.
but a lot of guys are tough.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are tough, and some of them. you know, Stevie Wonder, they're people. We got some tough people, we got some nice people, some not so tough people.
Yeah.
They just happen to be people that are doing an art.
Right, right. Oh, and that's the other thing I said. I remember before they started calling music the arts, they usually call ballet and tap and all of that, because I used to go to New York to the little plays and watch all that stuff. But then they started calling music art. They started calling just about everything art, and then the police started calling people who commit crimes. They had the art of lying, and I'm going, okay, art is everything now. It ain't right. We just need to keep it to things like what you all are doing, paintings and, incredible things, Every artist ain't an artist, But I'm going back now and listening to some of this music, and I bet you I can pick your horn out, because Wynton Marsalis and my brother, they were my horn guys, And I'm just sitting there listening to you, and I can't wait to hear something. So I'm gonna go play everything back from the 70s and 80s and see if I can pull it up. And I was like, 70s and 80s? You have to be about my brother's age, and you look like you're about 50. I was like, how the hell he play with Etta James? And then you said, the lady with great glass with a voice. Who is that?
I'm 62.
Oh, okay. That's about. You were young. Wow, you were real young. Now, who is the lady that broke the glass with a voice?
That was Ella Fitzgerald. That was
Ella Fitzgerald. That's who it was. Ella Fitzgerald. I saw the commercial where she did that, and I told somebody, that ain't real. That's just a commercial. My mama said that's real. My mom loved Etta James. So you played with her when she was kind of in the 80s, when she was kind of older. And you said the guy walked up on the stage with the walker. Who was that again?
Lionel Hampton.
Lionel Hampton. Yeah, we've seen Lionel Hampton. I've seen all of this stuff. You just got me excited tonight, but not as excited as Reggie was. I was like, Reggie went to school. I wanted that excitement too. But anyway, man, congratulations. Keep doing good things, and young man, keep doing what you're doing, and get tough, just like Mr. Fernando there. And you sound tough too, young man. Mr. Fernando he's a good leader. And y'all have a good night. I'm going back in the chat, King. I love you.
Appreciate you. All the time. Yeah, man. We got a beam in. We got a beam in for y'all. Go ahead, man. What's up?
What's going on? How y'all feeling tonight, man? I had to come through, man, and bless the panel. You know what I mean? Fred, I would appreciate an intro. You know how I do it, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody right now. For sure.
We got some of Brian's work. Hey, we got some of Brian's work on deck. That's what we good.
For sure, man. It's a pleasure to be on the panel with the brothers. It's a blessed day, the day after Malcolm X's birthday. So I'm still celebrating right now. My brothers, I just want to know, what's your favorite rappers of all time? Y'all favorite rappers, coming up in the game.
Go first.
I missed the question.
Your favorite rapper?
Issues with my internet, I guess.
Is it something wrong with my audio right now? I'm good.
No, you good. Brian, what's some of your favorite rappers?
Favorite rappers, Jay-Z, Wayne, Snoop, it's a bunch of people, man. Even I liked a lot of the underground stuff growing up too. I just suck with favorite questions, because it's just, like I said, different time periods. I like certain people when I was growing up, and now stuff's different now. But I respect a lot of people, man. A lot of the greats.
What about 50 Cent? 50 Cent, I thought he was pretty good with Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah, he made a statement when he came out. Sold a bunch of records. So yeah, 50 was killing it. And like I said, you got, like I said, Pac, and your bigs, and
Who you like nowadays? Me, I like to listen to the Baby. I think the Baby, he's been making a lot of noise lately. What you think about the Baby?
Yeah, no, he came in with his own sound, so I respect that. any rapper that can come in nowadays with their own sound is, that's a whole feat in itself. But yeah, Baby's is dope. I like Kendrick, J. Cole, yeah, and shit, even Migos, everyone's copying they when they came out, even though like we talk about stuff sounding the same, like really they kind of came in and had that sound, and now everybody trying to copy the Migos flow. So, respect to them for changing the landscape of music.
For sure. I like Young Thug. I think Young Thug is very talented as well. Even NBA YoungBoy, he does a good job making music. I like his flow a real lot. And also, it was another guy, Roddy Ricch from LA. He's really good. What you think about Roddy Ricch?
Oh yeah, no respect. Yeah, I respect Roddy Ricch. I can't say I know a lot of his stuff. I know the stuff that's out on the radio. Things. And I peeped his last album. But yeah, I mess with him. So
for sure, I like Roddy Ricch. I'm originally from LA, but I've been in Memphis for the past 10 years, and it's a rapper by the name of Moneybagg Yo out here. I don't know if you ever listened to Moneybagg Yo or if you ever heard of him. For you too, Fred, Moneybagg Yo, man, check him out here in Memphis. We got a lot of artists, Black Youngster. We got Yo Gotti, Young Dolph. These guys, they're making a lot of noise. You know what I'm saying? They doing their thing. Me, myself, I make music. I got a couple of hits. Fred, I think I told you about, I make music, Fred, but I don't know if you, paid attention to me, but I got a couple of tracks. Fred, is it cool if I just give them a sneak preview of my, like a course, a hook I made?
10 seconds. Go.
All right, here we go. It's ready right here. Here we go, right here. Damn, here we go. Tell me, y'all can hear it?
Yeah, we can hear it. It's not going. All right, you want to get signed, Brian. You want to get signed.
Yeah, but y'all can hear it though.
Yeah,
y'all can hear it.
Yeah, you put the work.
You whipping the work, brother. You whipping the work.
Yeah, that's just a little sneak preview. That's an original beat. That was all me right there. I'm coming with that fire. I feel like I got the energy. I'm entertaining, and I got Fred in my corner. So, man, I can't go wrong. You know what I'm saying?
You can't go wrong.
Sure, man. Yeah, keep it up. Yeah, just keep getting it, man. Keep putting music out, and some will catch you. Just stick to it.
For sure, I'm sitting on it right now. I'm just waiting for the right moment, and I'm gonna let the music out. But appreciate you guys. I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody on the panel. Appreciate it, Fred, my boy Devin Haney. Devin Haney's training with Floyd Mayweather. I had to talk about it. I'm loving it.
I know.
I'm loving it, Fred. I had to tell you, man. Devin Haney.
I know.
For sure, man. Thank you.
Hey, are y'all in the boxing at all? Are y'all in the boxing at all, Brian? You in the boxing? Who you like?
Honestly, it's been a minute since I'm more UFC now. It's kind of like
UFC definitely.
Because with boxing, it's kind of like it's been so
long. I know Pacquiao still fighting.
Yeah, Pacquiao, and then who's he just lost recently. The bomber, what's his name? Can't even think of his name right now. But and I'm always up for like a good heavyweight fight. It's nowadays it's kind of hard to see knockouts since everything's decision. So it's just it's kind of. But
we got another call at 323. I hung up on you by accident, Reg. Call in right after this. What's up? Go ahead.
Hi, gentlemen. I was calling because I wanted to know, I used to work in a music studio called Larrabee. You may have heard of Larrabee. Larrabee goes way back. Mm-hmm. But I was calling to see Larrabee Music Studios. It's in North Hollywood. But I was calling to see who's like your favorite vocalist. I've been playing, a lot of Angela Winbush. Whitney, of course, gets up there. Anita Baker, because I have 2 kids and I want to season them in like serious vocals, Tina Marie, the list goes on. But currently, a lot of things are just tuned so differently. So I just want to know who's like your like the top-notch vocalist of like today.
Today, again, I suck with these favorite questions because it's
you better get used to it.
I always say the same thing. It just depends. I don't know. I mean, who comes to mind for you guys? I mean,
let's see. Who do I like? Who do you like, Fernando? Because you were biting at the bit. You kind of perked up. Who do you like?
No, that's a hard question, but I think I guess it depends on music you like. But I was playing this thing with Yolanda Adams, man.
Great voice. She can fill a room. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I would, they had her singing with some folk on this. It was doing this show. It was a few years ago called Celebration of Gospel. And they paired it with some people. She was just running over them. It was kind of hard. And Faith Evans, oh my God, she can sing too. Yeah, it's really hard. Because I saw
I just
Faith
remember
Evans
just
sing.
how the 80s and 90s like really carried it. Like it was voice, and such passion and felt lyrics and emotion, because Stephanie Mills is one of my favorites. And I'm so happy that I'm able to see her live every once in a while. So I just wanted to know of today's time. So thank you.
I appreciate you calling in.
Thanks.
Did either y'all know or work with
I
Nip?
just did something.
Yeah, you just changed your camera view or something?
I don't know what I did.
Yeah,
I don't know what I did.
Did either you ever work
technology's bad.
or meet Nip, Brian and Fernando?
I'm sorry?
Did you ever work with Nip? Do you ever work or meet Nipsey Hussle?
Yeah, I didn't work with him personally. I have friends though that I came up with 1500. I don't know if you guys.
I was going to ask you about them. Yeah.
We shared studios, for a couple of years. So but yeah, they went on and did a bunch of Nip stuff, and then even the studio that I was in, producer did a bunch of stuff with Nipsey, and yeah, so a bunch of mutual friends, especially being from LA, it's like run into a lot of people in the music business and stuff like that. But but no, not personally though. I haven't, but I always respected his craft and what he was doing. So,
go ahead, Fernando.
With Nipsey?
Yes.
No, I never worked with him. We worked, but we taught his daughter.
Oh, did you?
His daughter. Yeah, we taught his daughter was in our program for like 3 years.
Yeah, his daughter goes to school across the street from my son. Yeah, I used to always see him pull up. You know what I mean? In the morning, when I walk through.
She's a hardworking young lady. Very hardworking. It's kind of heartbreaking, what happened when the kid loses their parent.
Sure.
But she's a really nice young lady. I think I might be getting into a little bit of technical problems here because I don't have a charger.
Oh, you about to die?
Well,
we got 10 minutes left.
Yes.
We got 10 minutes left. We got 10 minutes. You got it? You got it? or you can run and go get your charger.
I get 6%. I got 6%.
You might make it. Well, when you leave, everybody leave. When you leave, the lights cuts off. How about that?
No, you're in good hands.
Okay.
The way you came on strong performing.
Hey,
you probably got a whole set of songs in you.
Yeah, I got a whole board right here, but definitely not as good as Brian. We got another call because Reg called back in 323. Go ahead. Couldn't help yourself, huh? Go ahead.
No, I had to call back to the legend, man. I'm happy about this, but speaking from musically, thinking about hearing music and hearing you brought the terms arrangement. Can you explain the process of arranging music for an artist and what goes into the process of an artist you may have arranged for? So if you guys can both give your take on that.
Arranging as far as what, you mean the formatting a song, or what do you mean as far as the arrangement?
Yeah, whatever it covers, whatever the aspect of being an arranger to whatever the project is.
Okay. You want to talk about that, Mr. Pullum?
Well, from my perspective, it's scary because, usually, the artists would send you, at least they send me because the horns go on kind of oftentimes last, because they don't want you to get in the way of the vocals, and and so and maybe it's sometimes it's a budgetary issue also. So you get it, and then you don't know. You write what you feel in your heart, what moves you when you listen to the track, because then you go into the studio, and then you play this back, and you hope they like it. And it's really pins and needles the whole time, because if they don't understand horns, which oftentimes they don't, you could be in for a long night. But luckily, I've been able to survive. I haven't had any bad issues, but it's always scary to me because I want to do a good job.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, and as far as with me, I guess arranging, I would more so say like in the producer aspect, being a producer, it's pretty much making sure that the song is completed. So you have different producers that they might make the beat from scratch and send the beat into an artist and they'll write to it and send it back. You have some producers that'll be with the artist from build everything from the ground up, or they might have a song just like a acapella and I might build a beat around that. So there's different ways to get to the finish line. But so as far as arranging, like I said, it's just everything from and sometimes you might not even you might not even necessarily put a whole track around a certain song. There's been times where we did a beat and they sang over it, and we ended up like stripping the beat down and taking a lot of instruments away to kind of leave space for the vocalists. So things of that nature. So just kind of using your ear and just going with what your vision is and what the artist's vision is and what sounds best at the end of it. But yes, I guess it's really everything, just kind of getting that final product to a place where everyone's happy with it. That's our goal.
Right. And also like with aspects being you guys are I know you guys have to own a lot of music that you've originals that you've written. What is the process for protecting your art as far as copywriting things? How do you ensure that you're being paid appropriately, or is that handled from a legal aspect? Like, what are the aspects of an artist protecting themselves and protecting their art?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, well, first and foremost, you just want to be careful where you put your music. You don't want to just if you're not ready for it to be out there, you don't want to just put it on YouTube or something for everyone to hear it. And then also like the number one thing too in the music business, be careful who has your music. A lot of stuff will get leaked, things of that nature. You have engineers that or mixers, they'll mix a project and then next thing you know they send it to their folks and then now it's leaked. So you just got to be careful where you send your stuff. Just don't have it out there just because. But unless you're an artist on trying to come up and you're on the rise, and so you want to have your stuff out there. So it just kind of just depends. But and as far as getting paid, I mean, yeah, it's all the discussion. You want to make sure you can work that out ahead of time if you can. Make sure there's an understanding between all parties. And then with me, it's like a lot of times when we're dealing with this, you have independent and you have major labels. So with a major label, it's a lot harder for them to get away with not paying you, because they can get sued and things like that. So most of the time they're going to make sure you get taken care of. But independent, that's a whole different story. Sometimes you just do it off the strength. So if we're working with someone independent and they don't have it, but we believe in them, we might just let them have the track and see what happens. So it's not necessarily as charging. But sometimes you do need to charge. So it's all conversations. But make sure your paperwork is good. Make sure everyone's on the same page, and if you need management to step in and someone to handle that stuff for you, that's what they're for. So make sure you get your manager involved and let them handle the business if it's not really what you are trying to do. So
got it, Red.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. And one more question for Mr. Pullum, man. This is the thing that set me off with when I thought you were one of the dopest cats musically. Because like I said, I grew up around Colonel Spencer at Henry Clay. Ended up coming over to Washington. Like I said, with so many dope educators over there, and also Mr. Bakura, who wrote the book Crips, which ended up turning into the movie South Central. But the thing that was dope for me with you is when I seen you with George Clinton, who I always thought was one of the greatest sounds in music. What was that like, man? My auntie always got me on George Clinton, talking about the mothership, and then my song is the Bob Gun. But when I seen you with Clinton over there and him working with the band, I think when you introduced the jazz band over there. But what was it like just being in the presence of him, and did you guys work on anything?
No, I never. Well, actually, I did a jam session with him because I was playing with this rock band called Fishbone. You guys might not be familiar with it, but then I went on tour with them. And they shared the bill with George Clinton. But you know, if the students are doing well, and it's interesting. My man was mentioning Winter Marcellus. He just taught a class for me online last Thursday. You know, when the kids are doing well, you know, like we have been doing, then it's easy to get the people like George Clinton. And, you know, Stevie Wonder came over to the school too, you know, to get those guys to come over because they want the music to keep going. I have 1% battery.
Well, we gotta get out of here then. I appreciate it. We're gonna give give our salutation. Fernando, you give your salutation first. Brian, you give your salutation. We're gonna get out of here, man. I appreciate you coming in. Appreciate you, Red. Go ahead, Mr. Pullum. They were begging you to play, but you only got 1% battery. So we're gonna bring you back, man. I see him every day. You know what I mean? He bothers me every day. Go ahead. Go ahead, Fernando, because you got 1%. Brian.
Thank you so much for having us on.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate you, Brian.
Nah,
that's mad love.
Brian,
that's mad love.
Being with you.
All the time.
Before you leave, Mr. Pullum, I just want to say, you know, thank you, man, for everything. You know, love what you're doing. You know, it's a great man. You know, always looking out for the kids, and that's real important, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of these people don't have, you know, anyone to look up to. So it's people like that you know, you're a father to a lot of people out there, man. And so, you know, much respect and much love to you. And, you know, can't thank you enough for everything you've done, man. So, you know, keep it going, brother.
Appreciate you. And any other last words, Brian? Or that's it?
Yeah. You know, be good. You know, stay in school.
Thank you, Mr. Pullum. Thank you for Yo coming on.
Project, but I can't wait to hear this.
Yes, no, sir. Yeah, I'm coming to drop it off when it's time.
Give us some behind the scenes stuff and drop it on YouTube. If you need a channel, put it on my channel. That's that's the one thing I love, those behind the scenes stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh man, like Nip working with 1500 or nothing, and they breaking down the beat. Oh man, I love that stuff, man. And then you drop your project behind it, and it's gonna give you all that momentum. You know what I mean? So thank you, anyways, man. I truly appreciate you, man. Spending an hour and a half with us, man. That's mad love, man. You're more than welcome to come back, man. You know what I mean? I appreciate you, brother.
Man. Thanks
all the time. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, big dog. Yep. So, man, I appreciate y'all. We did the motherfucking thing, man. Man, what a wonderful show, man. So much information. Thank you, Fernando. Thank you to all the callers, man. Thank you to the chat, man. Y'all was mad love in here. I was reading the chat. You know what I mean? Thank you, Red, LA's own DB, Triple OG. I was trying to get you in, Asia. But you kept on coming in right when I hit the other send button, man. I was trying to get you in, man. So my bus, man. And I appreciate you, Patty. I appreciate everybody calling in. And we got DB on the line, man. Triple OG want to say something. So hang up. I got to hang you up, DB, right. And then just call right back in because I ain't got two lines open. What's up, Triple OG?
Hey, what happened last night? Everything just shut off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It just it was YouTube. That's all.
Oh, they didn't want you talking about Malcolm because I was looking for you for about 30 more minutes. I said, damn, they can't get back on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's all I wanted to know. I was like, yeah, what happened? Okay, King. Going back to your job.
Thanks, man. Bye. Aunt Fresh, what's up? Appreciate the call, man. You started the whole thing. What's up? Aunt Fresh. Hello? You on mute. But yeah, man. I appreciate we gonna end the show, man. I appreciate it, man. We're gonna come back tomorrow. I think we got an open topic show tomorrow. Finally, man. DB, we got an open topic show tomorrow, man. Man, I got some shit I wanted to talk about, man. You know what I mean? And DB with my main man DB at. I got to get you tomorrow, Aunt Fresh. Damn, man. I know. Hold up. Let me open up a line because he's calling and he may want to say something.
Yep.
Stay on, D. Aunt Fresh, go ahead. Call in right now. I just opened up another line. So go ahead and call in. Yeah, this was fun. Yeah, it was fun. This was a fun show, man. I learned everything tonight was new information for me. Everything. You know what I mean? You know, and just to say how cool Fernando Pullum is, he always tells me to bring Lincoln over. But I don't feel comfortable bringing him over because he teaches for free. Like his whole program is funded. And I'm like, nah, I can't do it, man. He's a great mother son of a gun, man. What's up, Aunt Fresh? What's up, man? What you got?
Hey man, these phone lines be jam packed like you know what I'm saying, like sardines. You feel me?
Yeah.
Man, but that's a good thing. That's called growth, man. That means you're growing, man.
Yeah.
Man, tonight, man, I swear, Fred, I just had to call in and say this, my G. Each and every show, it just seemed like you were fine tuning. You understand what I'm saying? You're like an engineer in this motherfucker, and you just getting better and better, and like I'm just seeing it day after day. I'm like, every time he got a guest on, even if it's a guest I don't know like that, I feel like it's so personable. You know what I'm saying? Especially watching on the big screen, because I got you on the big screen, Fred. You know what I'm saying? Live and direct on the big screen.
Mama, I made
it. Exactly. And bro, it's just as entertaining as any other show, except you get no commercials. It's commercial free, and you get, you know what I'm saying, full dialogue at a high elite level on every different subject. Like, to be honest, you could be charging this motherfucker $5 entry fee or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I just really appreciate the time that you are. I don't think people are understanding this movement and how you're putting so much energy and effort into it, and you making shows, and they're turning into great shows, and then the dialogue is just on another level than any other show. I'm telling you, like, there's other shows out there that's cool and it's good, and you know they got the money behind them and the Jews behind them. But Fred, it's just you, my G. Like really think about the totality of just you and what you're doing right now. And you ain't got all the super flashy gadget. You don't need all that extra shit. Like, it's so authentic and real. And that's what keeps me so engaged into the show. And that's what makes me want to call and, you know what I'm saying, ask questions. And you actually let the caller cook, no matter, even if they're being a little annoying, like, we ain't gonna say no names, but even if they're being a little crazy or annoying, you let the caller cook and do their thing.
We in the barbershop. We in the barbershop, man. Not every haircut gonna be perfect. You know what I mean? We in the barbershop.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. And you know what I'm saying? And last but not least, man, and that's one to say, man, just keep thinking to be excellent and get better. Like, I know you're gonna already do that, but just keep that. You know what I'm saying? Like that itch on your back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just keep that, because that's what makes the show so amazing. And I just wanted to say shout out to DB. DB always showing me the utmost respect and love. My 323 brethren. Appreciate you, dude. And Reggie, you always call in with some really, really, really good shit you be dropping. So I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are the ones that's like, you know what I'm saying? The extra engine to the motherfucking show, the second and third gear to this motherfucker. So yeah, respect. And yeah, man, that's all I really wanted to say is I just can't wait for Jhene Aiko, her fine at good.
We gonna get her on the show.
Hey, and if you can get Mila J, on this motherfucker,
I know I'm gonna get Jhene Aiko on the show. I know I'm gonna get her on the show. I said we gonna. Oh, I didn't tell y'all who I got. Dog.
Who you got?
Dog. Remember, we was like, man, we got to get this person. I got her. V. Bozeman. She's going to be on the show. V. Bozeman is going to be
playing.
No, I'm not. Why would I lie to y'all? In the next month, she's going to be on the show. No lie. I told you I work, man. I work.
I know, nigga. Nigga, you be working.
This
That's
black
crazy.
thing, man, is so connected, dog. This phone is, and I've never see. This is my first time ever asking people every day. Hey, can you help me with this? I've never done that in my adult life. Not 10 times in a row. I get on the phone 10 times, like, hey, can you help me get this? Can you help me get that? No, I've never done it in my life. So a lot of people are advantageous to want to help me. You know what I mean? And
Damn.
yeah, so it's a beautiful thing. V Bozeman will be on the show. I don't know when, but she's already committed to. She's already said yes, and so we're gonna get
man,
it poppin'.
Fred. Man, Fred got the money and Fred got the honeys. Man, look at Fred. Look at Fred.
It's for us, man. It's for us. It's for us.
Man, my nigga, my nerve, man. My man, 100 grand. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and sign out, bro. But look, I just had to call in and close, and I appreciate you, man. Whenever you ready to play that motherfucking song, do your thing.
Oh yeah, man. Appreciate you, big homie. Yeah. Sum it up, big dog. You like the I'm not comparing you to a white man, but you know how HBO used to close the show with Larry Merchant, man. You are our last storyteller of the evening. You do a fantastic job every night, man, encapsulating the moments, man. I'm just saying it because it's a boxing
you put
channel.
2 hats on your head because you big Captain. Big Captain. Man, what you got in the refrigerator? Captain Crunch. What is gonna be Captain?
Appreciate you, Yo-Yo. We ain't gonna play with you, Yo-Yo. Appreciate you. And sometime this summer we gonna make a donation to Yo-Yo. We gonna have a Yo-Yo day. So remind me, we all gonna donate one day. We gonna have her back.
I already do. My little man go to her academy already. So
really?
I was trying to call her to chop it up with her. She already know what it is with me. She see me, she start running the other way. Like, oh my God, here you go. Exactly.
You should have hit me. You should have hit me, dog. You should have hit me. You should have hit me.
No, I was with
in the morning.
You know, whenever you got an OG that's cooking, you know what I'm saying, 50 plus, you got to respect him and let him.
Man, you should have hit me this morning. Be like, I know, you need to have me on with her. Easy enough said, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Oh, good though, man. We had a good time, man. Eric in St. Louis was in the chat, man. He won the MVP tonight, man. He had us in there.
I saw
rolling.
I
man.
know.
My stomach hurt.
I saw. I asked him for you. I asked him to go out, but he only had 1%, man. So we'll get it done at another time, man. You know, maybe next month we'll have Fernando come tell some more stories where he can just take his time with it. You know what I mean? And I can just
and gotta have him play something. You know what I'm saying? Like before he get tired. You know, elder folk, man. It was already boys about 9:15. He was already yawning. Like, yeah, I'm with y'all, but you know, I'm still I'm up there with Donald Grant. Boy, we gotta lay down. I love you, OG. No, it's all good. Hey, man, you know, listen, man, shout out to everybody from Central America. Shout out to all the vegans. Shout out to all the boxing fans and all the music enthusiasts. Man, we had a great time tonight, man, for real, man. We learned something and we had a good vibe. And that's just the end of it right there. So, Fred, do me a favor, man. I'm getting ready to lay down in a minute, but play the song, Fred!
Millions and millions of people.
Hey.
Me and my team, along with
Eric, we appreciate you, big homie. Eric, Patty Dean, great call. Eric, you should have called in, big homie. Hey, I got your number on lock. I know when you call it. Reggie Owens, Asia Math, I tried to get you, man. God damn, you called in, but he kept on. Unique Don, what's up, ma? Your son can draw for real. Reggie Owens, appreciate the call, man. Thank you, man. Dave Jack the Ripper, man. I appreciate you. Damalo, what's up, big homie? What's up, man? You on that East Coast time hanging with us. 207, big dog. What's up? Patty Dean, Eric, Aaron, the Soulmates, DB, Patty Dean, man. We in here having a great time, man. We got an open topic tomorrow. I think I'm waiting on Trap. I wanted her to come in, man. I want y'all to hear her incredible story. We spoke today. I'm uncertain if she's coming in, but we got this hook though. We got this hook. Then we'll come right back.
Life's a play with no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games can play, can't take it from the snow. Cause the devil is a lie. Hey. I'm telling you the truth. Hey. It's all in what you do. Hey. Some things you gotta do.
Hey, Aaron, I appreciate you, man. Jarvis, man. Have a good night. That third shift. Shout out to the third shift, man. I appreciate you. People Hernandez, we got it, big dog. All I need is 5 mics. Appreciate you, B&B, man. You should have called in. You should have beamed in, big homie. Unique Dime, appreciate you, man. Yeah, we had a great show, man. Thanks to Yo-Yo, Fernando, Pullum, Brian. Appreciate you, man. I genuinely appreciate y'all coming in, man. And we're going to double back, man. We'll be back tomorrow. Open topic tomorrow. I wonder what we're going to talk about. Man, I wonder what we're going to talk about. I'll post it, and we're going to have a good time with it tomorrow night. Yeah, thank you, Nick Don. All the time. So, yeah, it's my
personal statement. Run the game like I'm ASICs. Learn to develop patience, determined to be the greatest. Yeah, bobbing and weaving, they changing up like the seasons. Indigenous to the grind, so I do it for all my people. Jabbing the competition, back up against the ropes. You fighting for recognition. I'm fighting just to promote equality where we lacking. While cancer slowing our road, I'm confident we'll make it. We focus on common goals. You gotta give back, give love,
give in some way. Never give up, stand tall.
Fourth shift.
Two toes, 2 feet, I stand on the ground. I'm going to and fight this final round. That's a fight for no rehearsal.
Next Wednesday, we got Jack Reese.
Things you take it personal,
because the devil is a liar. I'm telling you the truth, hey. It's all in what you do, hey. The things you gotta do, hey. Next Thursday, we got David Benavidez and family, hey. Next Friday, we got Daphne Springs, the funniest woman in showbiz, hey. Next Saturday, we got the beautiful Liz Fournette. Oh, fellas, hold your hand. Don't say nothing. Make sure your girl ain't around. Liz Fournette is a beautiful woman. My God. Don't forget, we got Clipper Darrell Saturday. Hey. I appreciate y'all, man. We had a great show, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Hey. I dropped some videos today. Go watch that Tank Davis video, man. That Floyd Mayweather and Tank Davis video. I'm getting tired of Floyd. I'm really getting tired of Floyd. But we had a great show. Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow. We out this motherfucker. Peace, y'all.